Good morning, guys. Welcome. Today's gonna be a pretty short video. It's gonna be actually 2 different days than one. So as you guys know, my front wheels were rubbing on the airbags on the FRS. So right now I'm headed down to the shop. I'm gonna try to find a part number on the bag so I can replace it. Now I can order these bags through Bag Riders and they're $250 a piece. So that'd be $500 for both sides. Or I can find the part number on the bag and go on Amazon, order the same exact bag for around $150. That's what they're going for. So what that's going to require me to do is jack up the car and maybe pull off one of the front airbags. Maybe not, I guess we'll see. So that last part number was not really pulling anything through either, so I actually ended up calling Airlift, asked them what my part number was, which is all I could have done in the first place. Super easy. It is 58529, which is what I thought. So I'm gonna go on Amazon or eBay, whatever. I'll have a link down below if you guys have a Scion FRS, Subaru BRZ, and these things actually fit a lot of other cars too. So they replace part number 7522. They've replaced like 12 different cars, front bags. So they replace a lot of cars. I'll have a link down below where you can pick up this specific bag, but I'm gonna pull this back up in about a week when the front bags come in, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly how I'm gonna go about replacing these front bags on the car. See you guys then. All right, so it's been about a week. The bags finally came in today, so I'm gonna run down to the shop and show you guys exactly how I'm gonna go about replacing these 2 damaged bags that I got in the front of this car. The first thing we need to do is get the car up in the air, or at least whatever bags you're replacing, get that corner up in the air. So for me, it's both front bags. So I got the front jacked up. I'm gonna pull the wheel off. And then to remove the bag itself, we have to remove the whole strut from the car. So there's 3 nuts up top, and then down on this specific model, on this Scion FRS, there'll be 2 holding the strut to the lower spindle, I guess you could call it. And then 1 nut for the sway bar and link. As soon as you get this, we need to disconnect this line here. And guys, before you do any of that, make sure you're airing out the bag completely. Unless it's popped, obviously there's not gonna be air in it. So like I said, 3 nuts up top, and then the 2 lower bolts, and then the 1 nut for the sway bar and link. As you can see here, I have the whole assembly removed from the car, and this is why I'm replacing it right here, because the wheel inside of the barrel was rubbing right there. So the next thing we need to do is take off this whole top hat assembly. So we're gonna start by removing this dampening adjuster that just unthreads by your hand. Next thing, grab a 17mm socket, pull this nut off, and that'll remove this whole top camera plate and the strut mount assembly. So go ahead, get that all removed. Now the next thing we need to do is remove the bag from the strut itself. So it's just gonna unthread. Like that, you can pop it loose, get this bag threaded off the assembly. Now you can check it out, you do whatever you want with it. I was actually really curious to see how thick this material was, so I may cut it open and take a look at it. All right, here I got my new bag. Now we're gonna wanna compare it, make sure it's the same. Yeah, definitely the same. And they come pre-greased, so you don't have to worry about that. Go ahead, slip it over. It's gonna sit right over the shaft. So slip it over. Don't mess up the seal. There's a seal in there. You don't wanna mess that up. Now to get it back on, you're gonna have to get that seal pressed over, and then you can simply thread it back on the strut. Now from here, you can tighten it the same way you got it loose. I'm just sticking a little tool through here, tightening it by hand. That's all you really need, guys. You don't need to go do nothing crazy. Now we gotta get this top hat back on for the camera plate. Make sure you're not forgetting any parts like I almost did. So there's 2 collars, 1 on each side. And then grab the nut and go ahead and tighten that nut up. Got the dampening back on. And now we're gonna grab the leader line. We gotta get this leader line reinstalled to this air strut, and we're definitely gonna have to be retaping that air line. So grab some white Teflon tape, go ahead, retape this line. I usually do like 4 rounds around it. We're running the opposite way of the thread, so when we thread it in, the tape doesn't come off. Now we can thread it into the bag, the bottom of the bag down here. We're gonna go hand tight, and then Airlift calls for a turn and 3/4 after hand tight. So that right there is hand tight, can't get any tighter. Now we're gonna go turn and 3/4 turn past hand tight. As soon as you get that leader line on, you can throw the bag assembly back on the car, get everything torqued down to the proper spec. Every car's gonna be different there. This is kind of just like a generalization of how to replace your airbag. So every torque spec on the lower mounts and the top mounts as well is going to be different to each make and model. So just Google it and you can easily find on any random online forum. As soon as you get the wheel, the bag back on the car, get everything torqued down, you are 100% done. If you are replacing it for the same reason I am, which is because the super wide wheels were rubbing on the bag, go ahead, do yourself a favor, turn the wheel and look in there. I don't know if you guys can see, but I can fit my finger in between there now because I did some other mods. I got some spacers and whatnot on here and messed around with my camber adjustment. So make sure you guys are always checking that. Once again, learn from my mistakes. I know I've said this before. I know I've said this before, guys, but learn from my mistakes and always be checking clearances. Same concept as when I put the bags on. We are making sure the bags weren't rubbing on anything on the car, on the body of the car. Also, make sure your wheels are not rubbing on your bags. It'll save you a few $100s in the long run. Like I said at the very beginning of this video, if you want to save $100 per bag-ish, about $100 per bag, call Airlift Performance, tell them your make and model. They'll give you the part number. Go on Amazon, type in that part number, and you can literally save $100 per bag. So in total, I saved $200. I had 2 bags that were bad. So do yourself a favor, save some cash, and you'll be well on your way. $300, now I don't have to worry about it. We're good to go. I know this was a straight up short little tutorial, but if you guys enjoyed it, if it helped you out, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have been following this build, you know we're taking this thing to California. We're actually leaving bright and early tomorrow morning. So guys, I will see you on the road tomorrow.